Good afternoon, Heart of Eugene. It's Pastor April here, offering a check-in and a heart-to-heart, just a momentary heart-to-heart from one disciple to another in what has been one of the wildest weeks of our lives. It's been a lot for our bodies, our brains, our spirit. I have found every day this acute stress that surrounds me. It's in front of me, behind me, on the side of me. And I find that even when I'm meditating this week to ground myself and spiritually armor myself up, so to speak, the stress and the angst of others is seen, it's felt, and it's often shared. And this was true last week. But this week, it feels magnified and multiplied exponentially. Feelings of both joy and grief have been overwhelming for me this week. In watching my children hug and snuggle and play well together, I can go from gratitude to tears to a great melancholy and lots of feelings this week as I ruminate on all I've been unable to do this week, or how many people around the world are suffering and dying, and how many people I feel like I might be ignoring by doing this incredibly important, counterintuitive community care called shelter in place. My heart is struggling. And add to this an acknowledged first world problem. My work-life balance this week has eroded, and everything in my life is fused and has been baked into an everything bagel. I'm teleconferencing from the back porch right now, but most of the time it's in my bedroom, in my bed, for that's where it's quietest in my house to do church work, while my kids and my partner are down the hall doing schoolwork or playing. And all the while, I might be thinking of a third activity that I'd love to be doing, like having coffee with my best friend or my mom. Or could I just go to therapy? No, it's all done from one location now. And let me be honest, I don't like everything bagels. My life routines have abruptly slowed to a halt, and my workload has tripled. This is true, not just for me, but for my husband and my children and my neighbors and everyone. Now more than ever, I need my spiritual practices. And for me, let me be clear, a spiritual practice is like a momentary glimpse of a deeper reality that sustains me. Spiritual practices help me name my feelings and feel my feelings so that I'm not overwhelmed by them. My spiritual practices help me sort out all that I'm thinking and feeling and move forward. Spiritual practices are like the avocado or the goat cheese that I have to smear all over everything bagels in order to make them likable. What works for me? I'd love to take a moment to share with you what works for me. And perhaps this will start a conversation in your household or with us online about what's working for you. So what works for me? For a momentary glimpse of freedom, fresh air is everything. And right now I'm outside on the back porch. It's a beautiful day. For a sense of control, house cleaning is amazing. Toothbrush and yelling at soap scum will make you feel control. It's a very healing experience. For anxiety, there are lots of things that I do. A good cry and coloring books and poetry and sex and sleep and therapy and a shower and yoga by Adrienne, who is a YouTuber I highly recommend. I'm cultivating what I read online and who I follow on social media. This has been a big thing to help me because Facebook scrolling can be very anxiety producing, and I want to check the news every day and stay informed. And so I have added to my Facebook and Instagram feeds and all my favorites, therapists and motivational speakers and comedians and artists and dancers so that I am seeing art and beauty and life going on as much as the other. I don't want to just refuse the internet or online connections, because online connections are where the human connections are for the next 20 days or more. A spiritual practice for a reminder that panic is not the answer. A trip to the grocery store once a week will do it. For daily and sometimes hourly sustenance, I use mantras, short phrases, scriptural verses, poems, words and phrases that affirm my connections to God and my intention to serve. I have to keep positive messages in front of me to stay positive. And I read them as often as I need, with deep breathing and 110% of my heart, the way that I am accustomed to giving to everything and everyone else. Some of these practices take just a minute or two. Something like yoga or something else might take longer, 30, 45 minutes. But all of these practices help me feel better about my life today and keep me focused on the work ahead of me. I imagine that your story has unique characteristics, but has some of the same results, some mixture of fatigue and grief and gratitude and frustration and fear and faith. And I wonder what people and prayers and practices are keeping you grounded and present for the work. My prayer today is that wherever you are, in whatever circumstances you find yourself in today, that you take time to be kind to yourself and to the fullness of your life that has been this week. The abrupt physical stop that every one of you has experienced is strong, and it's left all this energy inside of you and it wants out. And so I hope that you are finding ways to release it that work for you. Cry it out, dance it out, draw it out, walk it out, feel it, pray it, rage and rave at God. Find a way today, and then again tomorrow and the next day, to find little ways to connect to your spirit and to take your own spirit as seriously as you care for the spirits of others. You and I are human, and we need reminders to breathe and to attune ourselves to God and not the other way around. For it is God in front of us and behind us and all around us and within us. And we know from experience that we have to become very still and very quiet to hear God above all the other noises of life. I am also aware that for some who are watching and listening to this is not enough. And the desire to continue your faithful service work is overwhelming you with a lot of painful feelings. Feel those feelings. Rest and stay well today, because plans are in the works to offer emergency services of food and shelter to others in safe ways. We're just still learning what safe means. People were working on this yesterday, and they're working on it today, and they're going to work on it tomorrow. Trust that you are helping others today by reducing the spread of germs. Believe it. And as you connect to this deeper place within yourself, moment to moment, I pray that you find true peace there, and that you feel the connection that we all have to one another, all of our hearts and minds, all of us dedicated to the wellness of humanity and the healing of this earth. Amen. Peace from the heart of Eugene.